Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for your Wednesday. And this one's going to be fantastic. We are joined with David Romanoff of Evergreen Landscapes, LLC, out of Chicago, Illinois. And David has a really cool story. He started when he was a young kid. He went off, he actually went into a foreign country and studied there right after high school, then came back and decided to start a business. He has grown the company now to, they're going to do over $1 million this year. He's got 10 guys, a lot of equipment, all kinds of stuff that we get into today's episode, talking about how he's grown, how he's kept employees and things like that. Just some really, really good value into today's episode. I really appreciate David coming on and spending some time with us doing this thing real time. And everybody's rocking and rolling right now. I know that it's busy season. It is busy season. It's hard to make time for things, but we really appreciate David coming on and spending some time with us tonight. So without any further ado, let's hop into the show and let's hear some more about what David has to share about Evergreen Landscapes.
So I guess we'll start how I started my business. Just like probably most of the listeners here, cutting grass as a 10-year-old kid. My brother would use the lawnmower. I would sweep the sidewalks literally with a broom. And I did that since I was like 10 years old. And then finally kept doing that deal. And then when I was in high school, I started to, my parents let me operate the lawnmower. Well, a little bit before high school, but they actually bought a battery-powered mower. So I used that. I did a couple neighbors, a couple people in the neighborhood, and then did the classic, like bought a used push mower, got that up and running, and then bought a few more, got more houses. I had some buddies working for me on the weekends, cutting grass, mowing, edging, blowing sidewalks, just like how most guys start. And then moved into, I studied in Israel for 3 years after high school. And I got back, I was about 20 years old, from Chicago. And I decided to restart the business here, give it a shot, and I bought a used truck. And, I did all the classic things, bought a beat up old F-150 and just kept grinding it out. And now we've come a long way over the last almost 5 years.
Yeah. So how long? So how long has the business been established? So I'm excited to hear like the actual startup story of the business when you went official. You got back from Israel. What did that whole process look like, getting home and then getting into the business?
Yeah, so I sort of had no idea what was going to be, in terms of what I wanted to do, how I was going to be able to support a family, make enough money. I always loved working outside. I love working with my hands. I love cutting grass. I love planting flowers. I love planting shrubs. So I figured, I'll give it a shot. And that's pretty much what I did. I saved up a few bucks from high school. So I went out and bought my first F-150, totally beat up I bought it for $1,000. 225,000 miles on it.
For $1,000?
For like $1,000.
That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, I bought it off a buddy. He was trying to get rid of it anyways. He got himself like a beautiful brand new truck, and it was just sitting by his office. And I basically offered him I'm like, hey, buddy, you sure you still need that truck? And I kept asking him, and then he sort of gave it up, sold to me for $1,000.
Wow. Well, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. Listen, you got to get started somewhere, right?
That's right. That's right. You got to start somewhere. That's a really cool startup there. I mean, a lot of guys go out and finance new trucks. They don't have any clients, no equipment, none of that stuff. They're just and really even equipment. That's really not even true. People go finance $30,000 worth of lawnmowers and then $10,000 worth of small handheld equipment and then a $50,000 truck and have no clients. And so that's cool to me that you kind of started that way and you went small, you went cheap, you started out with what you had. What did it look like from there? You bought the truck, and then how did the story progress?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, going back on what you said, like I'm a big believer, just in general, even now when our business has grown exponentially to that time or from that time. I'm a big believer in just taking baby steps and not getting ahead of ourselves. And like I didn't buy my first truck until I was bringing in like real money. Like when I say real money, I mean $20,000-$30,000 a month of revenue.
Mm.
But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I had that truck for 6 months or so, and then I bought another F-150 like 2005, a little bit better. And then I bought an enclosed trailer, like a cheaper, lower end one, lighter duty, single axle. Just to haul around like a 36-inch skag and a couple blowers, a couple trimmers, nothing crazy. And then, just year after year over the last 5 years, we've just slowly reinvested. And, so now we have 5 brand new trucks. I mean, brand new as in the oldest is 2019.
Yeah.
We have an F-350 dump truck. We have 3 F-250s. And then, I drive an F-150. And then we have 3 cargo trailers enclosed and 1 dump trailer. And then obviously, those are full of equipment, and then still equipment all over the place, which is another issue in itself, but we'll get there one day.
Yeah, man. No, that's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what. Tell us a little bit about the business. What are you doing? So you have all this stuff that's really cool. Like you have all of the equipment. You've got the trucks now. You've got 5 trucks, which means people are going to be asking, well, how many crews are you running with 5 trucks? You got 3 trailers. So you got all that laid out there, got the equipment lined up and set up already out there for the public. Now let's talk about what is the business doing? What are you doing mainly the most of? How have you grown your business recently in the past couple of years?
Yeah. So when we started, I was simply taking any and every job I can get, mostly residential at the time. Literally I was taking on anyone who wanted, bi-weekly service, every cutting every other week. And, most of the time those are not the kind of clients that you really want to build a business, which I learned the hard way, unfortunately. But, I literally just took any job that came my way. I would bid it low and just somehow hustle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, a few years later, so now we're doing about 50% commercial, 50% residential. And, we have 2 full-time, 5 days a week, maintenance crews, and both of those crews are doing a mix of commercial and residential properties. But we do like a full service deal, cutting grass and, and edging, and trimming. We try to, I try to be more of a little bit, I guess, niche-y, in the sense of, a lot of my clientele is more higher end, especially the residentials, higher end properties that, want to go ahead with enhancements such as summer annual flowers, mulch, aeration, overseeding once a year. We really try to stick to that kind of clientele. We find that it just works much better for us. And it helps us with scheduling our other, enhancements crews. So right now we have 2 enhancements crews at the moment. I would call it more like 1.5, because we have one that works, all 8 months this season. And then the other crew, it's my supervisor, right-hand man. So he drives one of the trucks. And, in our peak season, like right now, like today, he was laying sod. We were doing the sod job for 3 houses. So, he was running that job with the enhancements crew. So sometimes he'll bring one of the guys along with him, or go out on his own. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we stand right now. We have about 10 guys, roughly 10 to 12 guys throughout the season. Each crew is anywhere from 2 to 4 guys, depending on the time of year, depending on the workload. Yeah, we're pretty much, doing maintenance, installations, enhancements, and just trying to improve the business, trying to get more efficient, systemize things.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I want to get into the systemization, mechanization, and see kind of what your plan and route is going forward there. Where are you located at?
Sure. So we're located in Skokie, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. So let's see. Who is Jay Jacobs in Illinois or Iowa? He's in Illinois, isn't he? Jeremy Jacobs. Do you know who Jeremy Jacobs is?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You got to look him up on Instagram. He's got some mean stripes. His stripe game is crazy. But I think
I'll have to check him out.
He's in Peoria. Do you know what Peoria, where that is?
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty far from us.
Okay, all right. That's. I don't know why that name. I struggle with remembering where everyone is. It's just a lot of different conversations. You know how it goes. I'm not good with geography, so I'm bad with remembering where everybody is. But something about where Jeremy and them are at. Why did I say Jeremy Jacobs? It's not Jeremy Jacobs. It's Jeremy Connect. That's his last name. But his Instagram handle is J Jacobs Lawn Care, and so that's why I got J Jacobs in my mind. But Peoria. That I don't know why that name. It's just it just catches me. I don't know what it is. It just rolls off your tongue, and so I always remember that's.
It's a cool name of a town.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it always sticks in my head. I don't know why it does, but it just does. So okay, so you're cutting mainly cool season grasses up there, correct?
Yeah, we're doing Kentucky blue, a little bit of fescue.
Okay, yeah, okay. So that's cool. That's different than me. It's different than the grass we're cutting. We're cutting all warm season grasses down here in Alabama, and actually about to get does it storm in the afternoons during the summer up there, or is that just a southern thing? I'm sitting here looking out my window as we record this, and we're not even recording it late. It's 6 o'clock, and it's the sun should be nowhere close to going down at this point in the year, and it looks like it's nighttime outside because we're about to get a storm roll through here. And it literally looks like a nighttime. But do y'all get afternoon showers? Is that something that happens up north? Do y'all get afternoon showers during the summer all the time?
I feel like once in a while. I would say once every 3-4 weeks we'll get one of those. But I feel like it's mostly late morning, afternoon here when we get those thunderstorms and heavy rain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of interesting though.
Yeah, no, that's welcome to the South. If anybody's listening from the South, realize that you know what I'm talking about. If you're listening here, it is every afternoon, during the summertime. Started last week, it'll continue into August. Just about somebody's getting rained on. Unless we're in a drought, somebody's getting rained on every afternoon. There's an afternoon shower that rolls through, and the crazy thing is it could be pouring, thundering, lightning 1 mile down the road from you, and your house be totally dry. That's happened multiple times this week, and so it's crazy to see how the different geographic locations and layouts across the country are, and things like that. Well, that was a big rabbit trail. Back to your business.
That's wild.
Yeah, back to your business and hearing more about your story. So you've got five trucks, 3 trailers, a lot of equipment, 10 guys. That's not something that you build overnight. That definitely takes time. So how long have you been in business again? Remind me.
Yeah, so we started. It's going to be 5 years in June.
So
it's
you
about 5 years.
Okay, so you've put some significant growth in 5 years. That's some significant growth. How have you done that? Like, what has your strategy been? What has your attack plan, your game plan been? Have you been marketing super heavy? Have you just like how have you grown the business? And then I want to get into like employee retention, things like that. But how have you actively grown the business enough to need that amount of employees, that amount of work, and how are you keeping that rolling in now?
Sure. So most of our business comes from word of mouth and referrals from existing customers. Also, like something we're super into is our branding. All of our trucks are wrapped. Our trailers are wrapped. And then, also a big thing that we're into is, all the guys, all of our team members wear uniform, dark pants, work boots, steel-toed, company caps, company shirts, and safety vests.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that so we've been enforcing that more and more over the last couple of years. I think that makes a huge difference in regards to, first of all, safety. A lot of times we're unloading trucks, double parking, or don't tell anyone about that. That stays between us. You just busy parts of the town, and a big thing is safety. So that's something that we've been super into. Is everyone wears a vest every day to work, and it just also, I feel, makes our company look more professional.
Mm-hmm.
And more of like team-like. So that's something that we're really into. And then I feel like I just went on a tangent. I'm sorry. What did you ask again?
No. How?
What were?
No, you're good. How have you actively grown the company the past 5 years? I mean, it's not just you and a guy anymore. It's you and 9 other guys. Like, you've grown a pretty large company. I don't know dollar amounts. You can share that if you would like, top line or whatever. It share as much or as little as you want. But like, you're running a decent sized operation with 10 guys. You're doing significant amount of revenue, and so it's like, how have you done that? How have you grown?
Sure.
How have you just brought that amount of work in and sustained it?
Sure. So yeah, so last year I think we did about 850,000 in sales, and then this year hoping to get close to about 1.2 or so.
It's awesome.
A big thing is, I tell my guys this whenever my guys get frustrated or stressed out or overloaded with work or anything along those lines. I always tell them, one day at a time. And that's really a big thing that we do is one day at a time. Because if you look at that schedule Sunday night or Monday morning for the whole week, it's like, how in the world are we going to get this done? Working, between 40 and 50 hours. So that's a big thing is, one day at a time. But also something that I've learned the hard way is invest in good equipment, good vehicles, good trailers. At the end of the day, it's so important to have the right tools to do a good job and to be able to deliver. Like, if you have a lot of downtime with equipment, forget about it. You can't get the job done. So, year after year, we just slowly reinvest. And then, I talk to my guys, do you like this new piece of equipment? Do you like the other piece of equipment better? And, a lot of it is like, I try to communicate with my guys as much as possible and take their feedback. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones operating the equipment. And it's important to me that they have as much energy as they can to focus on other things. Like, I'll give you an example. We, before last season, we only had walk behind skags. Last year, I invested in a 48-inch right standard, and then this year, 32-inch skag standard, or V-ride, I think it's called. And, something like that it was just like it's an absolute no-brainer, because now I see my guys are happier out working, and then they could focus more on pulling weeds, and they have more energy to pull weeds and focus on the garden beds and keep the edging nice, redefine the edges. Because they simply have more energy now that they have better equipment to work with, and they're not walking behind a mower miles and miles every day. So, I feel like that is a big, big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Investing in the right equipment. And then, also I made sure that my maintenance crews have dumpers on both of their trucks. One is a dump truck. One is, we got like the dumper dog.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. We absolutely love that thing. We actually got the salter attachment for it, for the winter time when we do the snow plowing, and the thing's a beast. It's awesome. It's really it's not too big, so it's great for storing over the summer months, and it just spreads salt really well, bulk rock salt. Well, you probably don't do much of that plowing, right?
Oh yeah, no. I do not have a plow. I do not have a salter. I go to auctions occasionally. It's just like surplus auctions, big pallet auctions and things. And last year we were at one, and there was a brand new Toro snowblower there, and I think it sold for $200, $250. And I literally thought about buying it and doing a giveaway with it or something. I just didn't want to pay the shipping to have it shipped across the country if somebody wanted. But no one here eats those up. If that auction was up north, somebody would have taken that thing and paid however much it's worth, and probably more than that, because they could have just gotten their hands on it there. But no, we do not do any snow down here. I think some commercial contracts do have ice management in their contracts, just because it gets icy a few times a year here, very, very rarely, but it does. So they do include that in their contracts. But no, we do not do much of that at all. What is your winter like where y'all are?
Well, first of all, it's kind of a blessing for you, because it's I'm not gonna lie, it's a rough part of the business. Very profitable, but very rough. Okay, so yeah, our winter, Chicago, we get a decent amount of snow. Last year was super quiet. But we that's a big part of my business. About a third of my business is commercial snow plowing and salting. Yeah, we're super into it. We have 4 plow trucks and 2 shoveling crews, plus, or no, 3 plow trucks, 2 shoveling crews, and then we sub out a whole bunch of accounts, large plazas and things like that. But yeah, we typically get a nice amount of snow around here in Chicago.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of our business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic. Let's go back I'll circle back to maintenance really quickly. I want to hear your opinion on this. Now that you're running 2 full-time maintenance crews, lawn maintenance crews, what have you found is the best size crew that has made you the most profit, but also made sure that productivity has stayed where it needed to? Is it 2-man, 3-man, 4-man? I mean, I know property sizes vary.
Okay.
But
okay, I love that question. I love that question because I think about that every single winter. I think about that. How should I set up the crews for next season? So what I found to work, and this is from last season, mainly from last season, is so I have one of my maintenance crews has a smaller trailer and a smaller truck. A regular cab. That's the one with the dumper dog. So that's F-250 pickup with the dumper dog, and it's got a 6x10 or 6x12 enclosed trailer. So for that crew, I have 2 guys. And they're doing, I would say they're probably doing, they're doing commercial and residential, but they're doing the smaller commercial properties, and then any house they can do. They have a walk behind skag and a stand down skag. And then the other crew has a bigger setup. They have a 7x16 enclosed trailer, and then a crew cab F-350 with the dump body on it. And that is either 3 or 4 guys. In the spring and fall, we add a 4th guy usually. I'll either pull them off one of the other crews or just bring in extra help. But I find that to be the best. that to be the best setup. And it's really like I go according to our really like our truck and trailer size, depending on how much equipment they can bring around and how much debris they can take with, because we pick up our debris at all the properties. So that's why we have the dump bodies on the maintenance trucks. But I find that it depends on the property size and how the routes really look, like what kind of properties we have. Like we have a couple of properties that my guys are at for 3 hours every week when they go there. Tons of beds and lots of square footage of mowing and trimming and edging. So I really find that it depends on the properties and the setup, if that makes sense. Did I answer the question?
Yes. No, that does. I 100% believe that. Like, it always varies, but I want to hear that from somebody who is running multiple setups, because for you have to make sure that your productivity stays up, but your profitability stays up as well. And that's hard to do when I know when you get into a mix of property sizes, it's like routing really becomes an issue. Now, let's talk back end of the business. Are you still doing everything? Like, are you doing all the office admin things? Are you doing all the scheduling? What does that look like now? Are you kind of like running everything? You got some help with that? What does that look like?
Sure. So my supervisor, right-hand man, he's officially the director of operations. So he helps with everything such as meeting the guys in the morning and, getting them started, giving them their schedules. And then, if he's in charge of, sharpening the mower blades, making sure all the equipment's up and running and fixing equipment, bringing equipment into repair shops if we need. We try to do the basic repairs in-house, just because it gets super expensive bringing to repair shops.
Mm-hmm.
And, he gasses up our trucks, he gasses up our equipment. But pretty much, I do a lot of I oversee a lot of the invoicing and quoting, and, I do all the estimates myself. I go out and meet with clients. But I also have someone who works for me full time in the office, which is just an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
Because it really does get crazy when all you need are a couple clients to start asking you questions on billing and what was included in this and things like that. And like, I love being out in the field as much as I possibly can, straight up. Like, I love planting flowers. Like today we planted 18 flats of marigolds at a property. I love it, and I try to be out in the field as much as I possibly can, but obviously I have to oversee everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just every day is like, what's going to happen today? Like, what am I going to have to deal with today?
Oh yeah. No, it never stops. I mean, that's every size company, company has different issues they run into. And it's of a company my size, it's one or two guys, it's one guy not showing up. Your whole day can be thrown off. If it's yours, if it's something of your size, then it's different. It's just different problems. It's the dingo breaking down and having tracks that you need to change the tracks or whatever it is. Like today, we were recording before we hit record. You were talking about a job you were working on, and it just took longer than expected because you just had a lot to do. You had the books were full, but it just isn't. It doesn't always go like you want it to, and so that's every different size company has different size problems. So just make sure that you can find problems that you can relate to though with other people. Have you made some good friends in your community around your area? Like, are you friends with any of your local quote unquote competition around you? Have you made a good network there?
Yeah, so I'm friendly with a bunch of landscapers, and landscapers, arborists, fertilization guys. Absolutely, I feel like it's always a very like healthy thing to be friendly with your quote unquote competition or competitors, because at the end of the day, jobs are going to come your way, and you can't do everything. You can't take on every job, and sometimes it comes in super handy to know different people that either you could partner up on jobs with, and make some profit on those kinds of jobs and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And like for example, we don't do any tree work for shrubs or trees that are above 8 feet in height. But I have like an amazing arborist that does all my tree work here, and it's awesome. Like, he loves me. He gets paid on time. I give him tons of work, and we're super open with each other. Like, he'll tell me, right now is super quiet for us. Do you have any jobs, or do you have any clients that might need some pruning or dormant pruning, or treatments for diseases and things like that. So I feel like it's super important to always have a positive relationship. Don't burn any bridges, because at the end of the day, you can really help each other out and bring each other business.
Yeah, man. No, I totally agree. It's one of those things that you have to look at it two ways. One way, they are competition. Like, they are your competition. People, I've said this in the past, and I've recently changed my philosophy on this. Like, you can't say they're not your competition. They are your competition when it comes down to it. Like, your business has to thrive and has to, quote unquote, survive. Like, and they're in your market. They're going to be bidding against you. You can go listen to the Turf Wars podcast. They'll be the first ones to tell you, Alex and Jacob. They are competition. They're in the same neighboring cities. Like, they're best friends, but they're competition. They bid on the same projects. And so you do have to know that. You have to know that. But you need to build the relationships with them so you can say, hey, when things do arise, maybe a problem arises, but if you look at it as like, oh, they're competition and I never want to talk to them. I don't want to know anything about them. I don't want them to know anything about me. I don't want to share anything with them. Well, if something happens and you need somebody to come save you, they're not going to come save you. Like, it's just that way. And so, like, I have a local buddy here that we talk literally every day probably, that he lives. We service the same neighborhoods. We mow properties right next to each other. Like, it just is what it is. We're right here close to home, and we are best of friends. Like, we literally talk every single day just about. But he is my competition, and I realize that. We bid on the same stuff. My prices have to be where I need them to be. Like, I have to have my numbers dialed in because I need to know that the minimum that I can make to make the right amount of profit that I want to make, and so that I can win jobs that I want to win. Like, it just is what it is. And so I'm not saying you lowball people. I'm saying you have to know you can't just throw numbers out there. You need to know your numbers. You need to know what your overhead is, what you need to recover, what are your customer acquisition costs, all of the things that go into that. You need to know those things. And so if you don't do that, then you're going to end up, your competition could end up running you over. And even if they are friends, and business is business at the end of the day a lot of times. And so you just have to roll with the punches, I guess. But if you know your numbers, you show up, you get your stuff, you know your stuff, then you're going to be okay, and you're going to have a good relationship with them, and also just a good working relationship down the road. So, well, let me ask you this, man. What's your family like? Tell me a little bit about family life before we wrap this thing up. This is really, sure. It's been a really fun show. I want to hear kind of before we wrap up just what the family's all about. I know you got just came home and ate dinner with the kids, and so I want to hear what your family life is like, and what your wife does. If she in the business, out of the business, what does that whole process look like?
Sure. So going back though on what you were saying, having relationships with competitors.
Yeah.
Something else that I really constantly learn, and is just watching the competitors and the competition, the way that they do things. Sometimes they do things differently, and if you watch, when I was a kid, I used to always love watching all the professional landscapers. They do everything that I didn't know how to do, because I was just so incredibly interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I still do, to be honest with you. Like, there are some big boys around here. I'll watch how they do things, when they do things, when they, what materials they're putting down and things like that. And I learn a lot from them. And it just, I feel like it's very important to always stay open-minded, not be a know-it-all. And, look and see what the other guys are doing to try to improve and get better. Honestly.
Yeah, no, 100%. You should
and
always be looking up to your competition and seeing how they're doing things, how people in your area are doing things, and learn and grow from them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So going into my family, so I have my wife is she's actually in school getting her master's for social work.
Oh,
So
awesome.
that's cool. Totally different than my career.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a baby that is almost 1 year old. Next week she's going to be 1.
Man, that's awesome, guy. That's fantastic. That is so cool to hear that. Young family, social work. That's cool to hear that your wife is outside of the business. Those present challenges. That in and of itself presents some challenges that I know because Savannah, my wife, is out of the business as well. She has a career outside of the business, so I know how that goes. Now, were y'all married when you started the business 5 years ago?
No, I was not. I got married about 2.5 years ago. And I started. I was single.
Yeah.
Worked in the business for a couple of years, and then found my wife, and been happily married ever since.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, man, I tell you what, that's really cool. Thank you for that little snippet there at the end. I know that I love hearing about everybody's family life and things like that. It's cool to hear that we're growing the communities here in the green industry, and the relationships are growing, and just trying to build friendships along the way. So that is what it's all about. I tell you what, before we let you go, I got one more question for you. It's pretty simple, but it can be complex. Just what is your why?
What is my why? Oh, that's a good question. My why is a couple things. First of all, I love what I do. I mean, not every minute of it, but in general.
Yeah, that's right.
You know how it is running a business.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy sometimes. And then also, I'm trying to build a business to be able to support my family and give them everything they need plus more. And also another thing is that I like making people happy with the services that I do. I love getting feedback from people that they're like, getting a quick text message like from a customer, hey David, I love my flowers. I love sitting in my backyard and just enjoying the flowers that you planted for me. It feels really good to get messages like that. Or doing a project like doing like a garden renovation, and the customer goes, hey, can't believe how good our place could have actually looked. And I really enjoy helping people out and helping people enjoy their yards.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fantastic, man. I love it. I love hearing everybody's different answers, and it is really cool. Doing landscaping. People don't give you the credit that you deserve being a lawn and landscape business owner. We were actually talking about that the other day with one of my new hires, and he was just talking like, I like it. He said, I like leaving the finished product. And I said, yeah, that's right. Like you're doing a skilled trade. You are doing something where you are leaving a product. People come home and their yard looks great. Like that is, people take a lot of pride in their yard. That's their home. When they invite people over and have parties, like they want their yard looking good. And so you're doing that, and you need to make sure that you add that you are charging the value you deserve for that service, and you should be proud of it. You should be proud of the business you built, man. I think it's really, really impressive what you've done there, and I can't wait to just follow along with you even more, and maybe link up down the road again if that sounds good to you.
That sounds great. I appreciate it, Jeremiah, and all the best. And I hope everything goes well in your business as well.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We're doing our best, just trying to rock and roll every day. Well, is there anything else that we left out that you wanted to share that we hadn't gotten to yet?
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on this evening. Do you have social media anywhere? Where can everybody find you if they want to connect with you? Maybe ask a question. What does that look like? Where's the best place to find you?
Sure. So we're on Instagram, Evergreen Landscapes Chicago. And then also you can always reach out through our website. It'll go directly to my email, evergreenlandscapesco.com. So it's Evergreen Landscapes plural coasincompany.com.
Awesome.
And I'd love to hear from anyone and everyone.
Yeah, if you got a question, go check him out. Shoot him a DM there. I'm sure he'll be of huge value and help to you. He's running almost $1 million company, gonna hit $1 million this year, hopefully. And so that sounds. I know he's got some value in here. You got some value out of today's episode. If you listened, go check out and see what all they've got going on there with Evergreen Landscape. So that's really cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on this evening. Thank you for cutting some time out of your evening and spending some time with us here on the show. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening and just supporting us here on the show. It means the world to us that we get to come do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so we just enjoy it, and we love building the relationships. We love growing the community one relationship at a time, because that's the goal here. Leave us a big 5-star rating and review. Those help us so we can do that exact thing. But without any further ado, that's going to wrap this episode up, and we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.